Blah. Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holders podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Aha, just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for staying tuned to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. And y'all already know what it is. And today we have a very special guest. You're not going to believe it. The original, from the original Chucky franchise and the TV show, who plays Kyle. Give it up for Christine. How's it going, Christine?
Very well. Happy to be here.
Oh, man, it's an honor. It's an honor. You don't know how nervous I am.
Oh, don't be nervous.
Oh. Well, real quick, I do want to share a little something. So I've had Alex Vincent on my podcast 4 times, and I mentioned I really, you are one of my favorite too in the show and in the franchise. I said, Alex, do you know how your boy could get your best friend on the show? He's like, dude, just send me your best video and I'll tell her. He's like, I said, thank you. And it was so nice of him because, you know, he knew like I'm very big into Chucky and how I've done my own TikTok show. So I'm actually the first and only TikToker, you could say, that actually started a comedy skit where I finally reached 36 episodes, but it's a show called Roomies with Chucky. And basically Chucky's my roommate and I do his voiceover. And I can do exactly Brad Dourif, and it's so funny because it's all scripted. It's like it starts off how we got together in the same apartment. We're fighting for the shower or the last leftovers. It's just so funny, and I keep it because I just have so much fun. When you do something that you love, that you do, you just don't want to let go. And so Alex was so nice. He was just like, keep it up. I think you're funny. So now I'm here with the big star right here too, you know. So I'm really happy to have you. And Kyle, I mean, look, I'm already saying Kyle already. Christine, I want to ask you a little bit. So tell us a little bit about your background and what got you into acting, you know, when you started with Child's Play 2.
Well, I'm from Boston and I moved to Los Angeles. I was going to film school in Boston at Boston University because I thought I wanted to be a director. I never wanted to be a performer. I never wanted to be an actor. So I thought I was too shy and it wasn't something I ever really even aspired to. But I decided it didn't make sense to finish film school in Boston because there was no film industry there in 1983. And so I left and I moved to Los Angeles and was going to finish film school here, but I couldn't afford to. I had to get a job and pay my rent and, you know, was working 60 hours a week just to make ends meet. And after a couple of years of that, I'm like, my God, I'm a cashier on Rodeo Drive. That can't be my peak in life, is that I'm not going to work in retail. I have no interest in retail whatsoever. So I was like, well, after work, I could take acting classes. If I'm going to be a director, I'm going to be directing actors. I should know what it is, what their job is, so I can, you know, you can't help somebody give a good performance if you don't really speak their language. So I took some acting classes and decided that I really enjoyed acting much more than I thought I would, and decided to try and pursue that. And so I was in my 20s, in my early 20s. I was probably like 22 or 23. When I started trying, but I looked 15. I looked really, really young. So I started working really quickly because I was, you know, older and sophisticated and I could work as an adult, but I could play very young. So I played a high school kid for at least 10 years, you know. Chucky was just another audition for me. I auditioned for Chucky. I didn't get it. But while I was waiting for they said, no, you didn't get it, I was doing an episode of the old show called Baywatch, and they called and said, we didn't find the girl, so we're going to go back and see the people we thought were near misses and see them again. And I was in that category, but I was working. I had a job on Baywatch, so they had to come in like early to get me in before I had to go to work. Like come in at like 9 o'clock and see me. And because I was working, you have a different energy, you have different confidence when you have a job. You know, you don't have that sort of sense of desperation. And I was like, guys, like I gotta go. I got a job to go to. And I think the attitude that I came into the room with the second time is what got me the job. I think they said, oh, that attitude is what we want for Kyle. It's what some like, zero fucks given character,
Whoa, that's pretty cool. I did not know that. That's amazing. Look at that. I also too, I feel like they probably sense your confidence. Like you came in like really stronger. And it's amazing because, in life sometimes, when people say no, well, some people they'll walk away, never come back. But I think sometimes if you get a no, it makes you I always learned that rejection just makes you stronger. It just makes you want to do better. And I give you props for that, Christine. I think that's amazing that you didn't give up. I think young people, they get scared sometimes,
Well, you can't be an actor if you're not willing to be told no. You're told no hundreds and hundreds of times, and you're told yes a handful of times. This business, I don't think there's any other industry where you get rejected as often as you do as an actor. And they can, you're used to it. You expect to not get the job. Getting the job is a fluke. Not getting the job is the norm. And so you shouldn't even think about it. You read and you don't get, you assume you're not going to get it because you probably aren't, that's just the nature of it. And they can be really mean with the no's too. Sometimes they'll say things like they want to go with a pretty girl, wouch. Okay. They want a pretty girl. I guess I'm not pretty. All right. That's note to self. They can be really harsh as if you're not a human being and don't have feelings.
Wow, man, it's very deep, very deep. Now I do gotta add, from all the 7 Chucky franchise, did you know like from the 7th one you were gonna show up? Or you like maybe 3 or months before they start filming that you be on it? Because this is a big shock. I was so happy to see you at the end.
Yeah, well, I know Don invited me to the screening in Los Angeles of Curse, and so I saw Alex and Jennifer's cameos at the end of that, and sort of hoped that if there were another film that Don would do the same thing for me, and he did, of course, and we shot it in January. I knew the job was going to happen probably in November or December of the previous. It's like 2017, was it? I'm not sure. I forget what year it was, but I shot it in January, and then I had to keep it a secret for 10 months until the movie came out in like September, October. And because Alex had made the cameo at the end of Curse, people anticipated a cameo at the end of Cult, and many people correctly assumed that would be Kyle. So I got asked about it every single day, and Don wouldn't let me tell anybody yes, and he wouldn't let me tell anybody no. So like, well, what am I going to say? What do I say? He's like, well, just be coy about it. Just be coy, and I'm like, be coy. They're asking me a direct question, so the answer I came up with was that we shot 2 different endings, and I don't know which one they went with. So, but yeah, in fact, it was me. But keeping that secret, it was hard. It was a relief to not have to keep the secret about the show.
Oh yeah. Man, when you came in the show, that was big. That was huge. You and Alex. Oh, I was just like, my favorite 2 characters are back. And here's the thing that makes you guys stand out the most is because in real life you guys are best friends. Show how comfortable you both are. It's just a beautiful thing. Just that chemistry. It's like authentic.
It is. No, I say Alex is my brother from another mother. Alex, and I speak, almost every day. So it's really genuine. The affection is genuine.
Wow. What is like your both favorite thing to do together? Like, is it the movie?
We don't do anything together because he lives in Florida and I live in California. So I only ever see him at conventions when we do conventions together, or shooting Chucky. Otherwise, I don't see him ever. It's just a phone relationship most of the time. But when we're in Toronto, we go out to eat, and he took me to see Louis C.K. last summer, which was funny. Yeah, just normal stuff, just hang.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And Christine, from the 7 films, what are your 2 top favorite movies from the 2?
Cult is my favorite. I like Cult the most. I like how it's shot. It looks like a Stanley Kubrick film. It's shot really beautifully, and I like the multiple Chuckies, and I also like the possession of Nika. I thought that those developments made what opened the story up so huge. It's like flinging barn doors open. So much more story can happen than just having the one Chucky. So I don't have a second favorite. Everybody else's favorite is 2. Everybody like 2. If you took a poll, number 2 would win by a landslide. Everyone thinks 2 is the best. Not everyone, but the majority of people. I think they all hold up, though. I guess my least favorite is 3, for a couple of reasons. Alex and I were both hurt that we weren't in it. We both, because Child's Play 2 had done so well, we both sort of assumed if there were a sequel, we'd both be in it. So it was sort of a big disappointment to not be. So my opinion of that film is colored a little bit by that experience too. I just think it's the least interesting of the franchise to me. If there was a competition for the worst of the franchise, people are divided between whether it's Seed or Child's Play 3 or Seed. I like Seed. I think Seed's great. I like Bride and Seed are really amazing. It was an incredible reinvention of the franchise for Dawn. I think they really hold up well too.
Wow. It's crazy you said that, because for me, Child's Play 2 had to be the most scariest of the whole franchise for me, because it was just spooky. Just, oh man, where's Chucky? When you went to go look for him upstairs and you check the trash can, he's not there. You're going back upstairs. I'm like, man, where is he? And Chucky's like under the bed and running so quick. It was really scary. I was freaked out. Like, even now, being a grown up, I still get scared of that movie. 3, interesting. 3, I don't know why I like it, because of the humor. I do have a prediction, my theory, that the kid Tyler from 3 might end up being, this is my prediction, right? I just finished watching season 2 of Chucky to show off, because he is technically part of the universe. If he were to come to the Chucky franchise, the show, that would be so cool, because he was during that time when he was a kid, and he was very vulnerable to Chucky. So he would have a different perspective, different story. And we don't know what happened to him. We don't know if he went crazy, or he continued life. So I would love to see. I do think you're right. Call of Chucky was great. Even the beginning. I feel like Andy was able to have his moment, to have his revenge with Chucky in the beginning scene. He had all his weapons, and he's like, "You want to play?" He'll say with the fire torch, the coolest thing. And that scene where he's passing a joint to Chucky, and Chucky moved his head. Oh man, I got scared. I had the TV full volume, and I screamed. And so I was like, man, I was not expecting that.
Well, I know people want to see Andy's mom, and they want to from the first movie, and they want to see the cop. Norris, I think is his name. His name is Norris, right? Mm-hmm. Detective Norris. With Dawn, you never know. Dawn, never say never with Dawn. But I know that Catherine Hicks, who plays Andy's mom, has retired from acting. So I think she'd be a difficult person to coax back into the universe. And the kid that plays Tyler, I don't know that he's an actor anymore. He may not even be an actor anymore, So there's realities like that sometimes can hinder Dawn's best ideas, Not everybody wants to come back,
Right.
Unbelievable that is for me to say. I was like, couldn't be more pleased with being back. It's fantastic.
Right. And from the TV show, right? So you were in it, you came up in episode 6 of season 1, and then you came at the final 3 episodes on season 2. It was really cool to see you twice. And from the 2 seasons, which one did you felt like was the most fun to do?
They're both. It's always fun. It's just so much fun because I've known Dawn Mancini since 1989. I've known Alex for the same amount of time. I've also known Jennifer Tilly since '89. I met her when I was doing a play downtown. Actually, I was doing the play downtown when I got Chucky. I was doing a play and Baywatch, and so I met Jennifer outside of the franchise before either one of us was involved with it. So, and she's one of the most awesome people on earth. So to get to hang out in Toronto all summer with these people who I love so much, and the kid Fiona and the kids too. The kids are really great. I've fallen in love with the kids. I didn't get to work with the kids much at all, really, the first season. This year, I got to do a little bit more time with them, and that was really wonderful. I don't have a whole lot to do. Kyle sort of got, this idea that she hasn't had a lot to do so far on the show. I don't think, got to do what she does do is pretty cool, but it's just always fun though. I can't say which one was more fun. They're both equally fun to do, and I'm a fan of the show too. I watched the show like a fan, and I knew that I wasn't in episode 8 of this season, so I didn't read it. I didn't have any reason to read it because I don't have to be in it. So I wanted to watch it like everybody else, and I fangirl watching it too. Episode 8, the finale this year was fucking great.
What were your thoughts on that season finale?
Well, I mean, I think the death of the mayor was spectacular. Watching Allie, Lexi, just completely soaked in blood like Carrie in the final sequences with her, and then the reveal of the little sister that she's actually in cahoots with Chucky. Jennifer showing up at the house and the mayor walking down, and instead of being freaked out that Jennifer Tilly's in her living room at like midnight on Christmas Eve, she's like, "Oh my God, Jennifer Tilly!" And she starts fangirling over Jennifer. I think it's hilarious. And then the ending, the cliffhanger at the end. The cliffhanger is pretty. It's pretty cool. I hope we get a season 3 because I would like to see where Dawn takes that.
Oh man, I am so for it. I think you guys are definitely changing the game because having a not only 7 films, right, of Chucky, and then 2 seasons of Chucky as well. It's so cool to have the original cast in the show, which no horror film has done, like Jason, Freddy, none of the big icons, which I think is amazing because it brings back that nostalgic feeling of seeing the original. So I think it's beautiful. I think my opinion, where we left off, I think Nika is going to be one of the main. They're going to focus more on her, I feel, because she still hasn't got her revenge. You can tell she wants it, right?
Yeah.
I really hope they don't kill off Jennifer Tilly because she's very big, I'm gonna be sad. I'll probably cry, and
I can't imagine they would kill off Jennifer. She steals the show. That show benefits so incredibly from her presence. She's my favorite part of the show. So it would be devastating if they got rid of her. I just don't see that happening. But again, you never know. I mean, Kyle could die. I think Jennifer and Andy are the safest in the franchise. I think they're the hardest ones to kill off without a huge fan rebellion. I think Kyle could hit the chopping block, though. I hope she doesn't, but she could.
Oh man, don't say that. I'll get real sad because in season 1 at the end, we thought you were gone, right? And we see at the end of the cemetery, on one of the trees, we saw your gloves. So that was my little hint that she's still here. She's still alive. We just don't know how she's gonna come back.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and what's funny to watch people online speak with complete confidence that they know, like, Kyle's definitely dead. She's dead. She's dead. Like they know it from Don Mancini himself, you know. But can you imagine Don Mancini killing off a legacy character off camera? If Kyle's going to die, she's going to die in a spectacular way, like the mayor died. Like, you don't kill a character that's been around for 30 years and leave it up to opinion whether she died or not. If Kyle dies, you're going to fucking know it. It's going to be amazing, you know?
That's so true. I can't wait. Even like if they make another film, that would be big too. I think I would be so down to watch it, bring my popcorn, nachos. I think that's gonna be big. And I gotta say, you know, from seeing all the films, right? There's two different, we know this. In season one, I felt like it was very it did feel very scary, my opinion, in the first season. Did you feel like season two your favorite compared to number one?
Well, yeah, because I am sentimental about it. You know, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. So it's difficult for me to judge that one though, as an audience member. You know, it's the one is I have the it's just too close. I'm too close to it to judge it that way. And one is great. I love the first one. I think the second one, I think people like it. People who like it more, I think the reason they like it more is Chucky has so much more to do. Chucky comes out, you know, right out of the. He's the first one takes a long time for Chucky to reveal that he's, you know, to see Chucky be Chucky. That's not the case with two. So you get so much more Chucky, and people can't get enough of Chucky.
Right.
As far as the movie though, I really hope that doesn't happen because you know, the seven films took from 1988 to 2017 or something, right?
Yeah.
To span out. How many years is that? Like 25 years or something? Yeah, 29 years. 29 years. So 30 years almost to do 7 movies. And in the last, you know, as of November of last year, in 13 months, you had 16 hours of Chucky. In 13 months, the world was delivered, you know, 16 episodes, 16-hour-long episodes in just over a year. Isn't that much more gratifying than waiting 30 years for 7 films?
That's true, because in the show you get more of Chucky an hour-long episode. So I agree with you. I think you do see more of Chucky instead of one film being 2 hours. It's just so put everything in one piece, you know.
The movies are limiting that way because there wouldn't be room for, I don't think, for the legacy characters in subsequent films the way there is in the show. There's just so much more time for storytelling on the series, and you so much more time to serve so many more characters than in a film. So I think if a film happens, I imagine that would mean the show has been canceled, and that would be sad.
Right.
Because it's not going to be both, you know. It won't be both. It's gonna. I can't imagine that there'd be a season of the show, and then movies just take so much longer to get done too. And with the kids, like, you can't wait 2 years when your cast is 16, 17 years old. You can't wait 2 years to pick the story up again, because they're going to age out of their characters. They're going to be, you know.
Oh,
so keep your fingers crossed for the show.
No, you got a good point. I think that you got me with that one with the right hook. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so beautiful. I'm really happy, you know. Like I said, I was so excited this morning. I woke up and I had a phone call conversation with my mom. I said, "Mom, this is a big deal. You understand? You know, having you, like, you understand, like, so I started having this podcast for almost 2.5 years, about to hit 3 years, and it's so nice because I feel like this platform, a little sidetrack, but I'm the first Mexican Guatemalan Jew in history to have a podcast, which is crazy,
Yeah.
and a lot of people I've had on was people that grew up in Chicago, my mentors, and I had them on the show. And I feel like there's not a lot of representation of Hispanics that are Jewish in the media. I feel like I wanted to share the story in their life and what they've experienced. And at the same time, have fun, bring people that walks of life, in cinema. I always said my biggest true dream for the podcast is to have Alex Vincent and you, and to have you two. I now I can feel like, man, my dream has finally came true. Like,
Aw, that's sweet.
it just, I get real emotional because I told this to Alex, and last time I had him, I said how, growing up, right, my first film watching was Child's Play, and then my father left my mom when I was 2. It's a sad story, but he basically left my mom for my babysitter, which was weird. It was like, it feels like a soap opera. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he started a new family, and I didn't really have him in my life. And one day we went to the movies, and I was like, I was young. I was a young kid, and my father said to me with his own words, "This is going to be the last film we're going to watch together." And it's so weird for a father to say that. And the movie that we watched was Seed of Chucky. It was actually our last film, and
Wow.
and so we saw it, and I started at the age of 20, 21, I would say. I started to collect Chucky collectibles. My mom would say, "Why are you collecting so many dolls? Like, you got a lot, like, different action figures." And I said, "Mom, because the only good memory I have with my father is watching Chucky, right? The Seed of Chucky. So
Yeah.
just holding onto these toys, it makes me to not think bad of my father. It actually brings the
Why? Why
warmth."
was? Why was it the last? What happened? He took you to see the Chucky, and then what? He never saw you again.
Yeah, he pretty much, he said to me, like, that was it, right? That's the last
What?
movie.
Did he move away or something? I mean,
No, he only lived like a few blocks from my house, and he just kind of went MIA, never wanted to see me. I haven't seen him for more than 15 years. I haven't seen him. Yeah.
it's a horrible story. What an asshole.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
no, you know what? It's a sad thing. It made me realize in the beginning, when I was young, I was very angry. I was very mad at myself and the world because I always wanted to please him in any way. I invited him to my basketball games. When I won my first tournament in martial arts, mixed martial arts, and he never came, and I wanted to make him happy. So I realized in life that you can't make everyone happy. Um,
That's true.
the only thing I could do different is when I have kids, um, to not make the same mistake that my parents did, right? That's the big one. So I
Yeah.
can break that curse.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened. That's a terrible story.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I feel like, it's good to be honest with yourself and to share things that that were traumatic, right? I could say that was a traumatic experience, and I move on from it, right? You grow, and like I said, Chucky is what makes me happy. It brings back that, it helps me to not judge my father, right? Which is a very
Yeah.
hard thing to do. It's hard. Um, but yeah, I don't know how I got so sentimental, but but look, I'm gonna wrap it up because it looks like Zoom is about to kick us out. But Christine, I'm very happy to have you here. I think this is amazing. I had a great conversation. Hopefully, we can still keep in contact. And I'll actually add one more question before we finish. So, Universal Studios announced that they're gonna have a Chucky, like a kind of like a theme park at Universal Studio in Cali and Florida for Halloween. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you, are you gonna go to it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I got invited to the horror nights. They do the horror nights thing at both studios. And they invited all of us, the whole cast of Chucky, to go to it. And I did. And I there's the horror mazes they have. And I think they're gonna do is have a Chucky maze at the next year. They didn't have a Chucky maze this year, but I think they'll have one next year. And yeah, I really enjoy it. And I enjoy the rides too. I hadn't been to Universal Studios in like 20 years. So I did the Harry Potter ride and the Jurassic World rides, and they're both great. So yeah, I'll go. Absolutely.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna plan a trip to make it because I live in Vegas, so I'm only 2 hours or 3 hours away from Cali driving. So if I bump into you, I'll be so happy. Oh man.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Well, thank you again, Christine. It was an honor, a pleasure. There you guys have it. This is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Chit. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, the Outlet to Reality. My TikTok is at Yaakov28, and my Snapchat is Take One Pass It. And Christine, where can my fans find you?
I'm on Instagram, Christine Elise McCarthy on Instagram.